All right, hello. Welcome to today is actually the 12th of February, and we are going through a trade recap. Right, so let me actually pull up my notebook from when I journaled today. So basically, actually, Forest Factory. So we have today. What happened was, is this time correct? Yes, it is. So at 2 a.m. we had GDP come out. 8:30 we had unemployment claims, and that was it. Right. So again, we see. 2 a.m. we had this move. Okay. Nothing of importance. Why? Because obviously it wasn't in the trading region. Now, we can see here this bullish rally gap was being respected on ES. And same here, right? Bodies of the candles, right? Going up. Yeah, so on the weekly or daily analysis, pretty much I was still bullish, right? Long term bullish. We have loads of external draws and liquidity. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Here. Okay. And then if we check the 4 hour, right, we can see that, let me actually just, what's happened here? Right, well, select bar, please. Let's just go here. So we see, kind of chopping a wood, right? We aren't really doing a lot here. There's nothing of severe interest. We can just see that price is kind of consolidating on the 4 hour, right? Remaining in the range that we formed this week. See the idea here was there's loads of bullish rally gaps. Same thing can be said on the Nasdaq. On the hourly, so we're going to go into the hourly. We see the same exact thing, right? Just consolidating, right? Looking at midnight opening, right? We see price traded actually above. Let me just skip forward. Price traded above, right? In fact, I might as well. What's the time frame here? 6 a.m., 7, 8. Okay. So we have consolidation galore, right? Midnight opening, we have moved higher. Okay. So my bias came in today was neutral, right? And obviously I went down to see if the 15-minute painted a better picture. So going to the 15-minute, what do we see? On both time frames, we see accumulation, A30 news hits, manipulation, taking out all these highs, filling the Fidelity up, right? Manipulation up here, okay. And we have obviously a bullish rally gap that forms from the release of unemployment claims, right here. And now my idea was that, like, if we respected it, we'd be bullish. If we displaced through it, I'm bearish, and I'm looking for the bullish rally gaps to be respected. Okay. So what I wrote down, let me just repeat myself. Looking at the 5-minute. Okay, let's actually go into the 5-minute. Looking at the 5-minute, I'm interested in seeing that the news fair value gap being either respected, which would result in looking for longs at New York AM Open, or displaced through and looking for shorts. I'm having a thought that this news rally was a manipulation, causing us to move above midnight, taking out accumulated highs and possibly beginning to rally lower. Okay. So on the 4-minute, so we can go into the 4-minute. What is going on? We can see price is respecting bearish fair value gaps, right? So let's actually just quickly go through. We can see here bullish rally gap being formed, bearish rally gap being formed. Price that's in, moves lower, respects it, right? Seeing price respect a lot, right? So we are moving lower now, okay? It could look like a clean shorting opportunity, given that we displaced through the 15-minute value gap. Now let's skip through. Let's go on the 1-minute and just skip through to market open. So we have 1, 2, 3, bang. Okay, so we have a nice wick. Now this is very, very weird, right? New York AM open. We see we whipsaw the lows. We whipsaw down, taking out the lows. And ES having a bullish SMT, right? So let's have a look. Skip through. right? So we take out these lows and we push higher, right? SMT right here on ES, okay? If price respects the Fibonacci gap, right? So we're still in the 15-minute time frame. If price was going to respect it, right? Obviously I'll be looking for longs, okay? Now, what ends up happening, which was really, really weird. Let me actually show you guys. I think it's going to be in the next picture. And that's actually, yeah, here. We can see NASDAQ starts moving down whilst ES starts moving up. So I kind of like freaked out. I was like, what the fuck is going on, right? NQ, right, was displacing through. Let me actually just draw it because I don't want to just be talking about it. I actually want to draw it out for you guys. Draw it out here. So yeah, NQ at this point looked like it was displacing through, right? You can see much more power when it comes to displacing through, right? Here, ES, right, is looking like it's respecting it. Okay, so look. You can see ES is respecting it. You'll see in the next like couple things, right? So what I did is I actually waited for the next 15-minute candle to close, right? Hopefully giving a clearer picture. For now, it looks like it's staying in the range, so I took no opportunities here. Okay. Now, let's go on the 15-minute. We can see. Let me just get the next one up. Right. We see. Let me actually just quickly go back and ignore this one. We see price disrespects the bearish rally gap, right? We displaced through it. Okay. ES has followed through and done the exact same thing. Obviously, you can't see it now, but you will. Now, I was looking for a retracement back into the displacement leg and take a short to hourly lows, right? We also have an SMT at these highs. So let's actually go into is it a 5-minute time frame? Can we see? Yep, very clearly. See, look at ES, takes out lies right here, takes them out. Bang, this was 940, this was 840, this is 840, this is 940, right? So we see loads of divergence, right? We had the manipulation leg, and as market opened, it actually went and took out short-term highs, right? Now, my first sort of setup was, let me show you, look, it was this market structure shift here, and we had a displacement leg here, right? Price actually did not end up coming here whatsoever, and the more we actually look, price literally just ends up dumping all the way down. Look at this, bang. Just straight dumps, straight dump, okay? I could have entered, this is the only entry that I possibly could have gotten, and even then, that is like super minimal, right? Why would I have not been able to take it? Because we weren't even in a premium anyway, right? So it wouldn't have mattered. So we had the 15-minute gap here, significant market structure shift, market structure shift, market structure shift. Here, I could have probably taken a trade. That's if I did not trade with my rules, right? We're having a already up above equilibrium, right? So price ends up actually just rallying all the way lower up until around 11. Okay. Now, I told myself I'm remaining patient and not doing anything silly, right? But let's actually look into the trade that I took. Where is objectory? I cannot find. Can't find my short. Where is my short? Maybe a little time frame. Can I see it? Yeah, there we go. Okay. So, what happens is, sorry, I'm just looking through my journal. Basically, I had loads of opportunities. Like I had so many like entries that I wanted, but obviously price just continued pumping lower, and it just voided all of them, right? And that's completely fine. That's completely fine. Let me just keep. Sorry, guys. You're just gonna have to bear with me for a minute. Yeah, what I was actually looking at here was if price comes down into this 4-hour bullish early gap, and respect it, I was going to look at retracements higher, right? At that current moment in time, okay? Because we could just see that price was generally just dumping off significantly, okay? So let's have a look at the trade that I took here. So what do we have? This was a poor trade on my behalf, right? Why was it a poor trade? Let's talk about it. So we had this rally up, okay? Let me just go straight to the execution zone, okay? So we have a small little range here for rally up that's in a premium, okay? I wanted entry here. I ended up not getting entry here. You know what I ended up doing? I ended up entering on this bearish order block. All right, now you're thinking, what the hell are you doing, right? This wasn't part of my trading strategy, right? So this is instantly just an incorrect thing to do, right? You're not trading your strategy, you ain't got a plan, you're FOMOing. And this was a straight FOMO trade, okay? So let's just play it. This comes in, down, 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 right? Takes me up straight away, okay? I commented to myself, this felt like a very rushed trade, right? This was a straight FOMO trade, right? I was getting very emotional because I missed this whole move, right? This whole move I missed, okay? And it was getting the better of me. I was thinking, fuck, like I really should have gotten in, right? It was a poor setup, and what I decided to do was to not trade until PM session, right? I moved away from the markets, I just analyzed, I was spectating, but I was not doing anything, okay? I needed to take a break because I could tell that emotions got the better of me, right? And I even felt shit, right? Okay. Now, let's skip on up to around, let's go into like, where's lunch? This is lunch, yeah. So in lunch, we can see we begin to consolidate, right? If we have a bigger look here, we actually break through this bullish rally gap, which is a 4 hour. Yep, we completely break through it, right? We come into these premium areas, right? Now, let's go back on the 5 minute. We can see, let me just correct this. What happens is, we have an SMT, right? In this bullish rally gap, right? Now, what ends up happening in the afternoon, I was waiting for algorithm to get back in, which happens at around like 1:30, right? New York time. So we see, let me just quickly skip. Nothing here. And boom. Right, so let me just quickly analyze this for you guys. What happens is we have an SMT here, okay? Right here, sell liquidity. We have SMT, right? So price is showing strength. We have a market structure shift on the 5 minute, okay? So very strong, okay? And I have a range from the low here to the range high, okay? There's a fair value gap, a 15-minute fair value gap within the discount, okay? Within the discount. Now, at this point, I obviously entered in the trade, okay? I'm entered in the trade. And yeah, as I previously mentioned, given the morning move, I was expecting some sort of retracement into this area, right? 100%. Well, that ends up obviously not really playing out as it should have. So let's actually dig in. You see, price moves up, breaks past the high. When does it do it? I think at this point here. Yeah, boom. So at that point, I took off a contract. Okay, I took off a contract and I moved my stop loss to here. Okay, now let's just actually go into the 1 minute and just completely go through. What does price end up doing? Something that I don't like. Hold on, let me just. Right, so I get stopped out. Okay, I don't actually get stopped out. Why? Because my stop loss ended up being at break even at literally this point anyway. Right, it was at the low, and I just exited when it was this candle closed like that. Okay, I was like, I'm not taking any more risk. So yeah, so let's actually talk about this entry. Like I said, I told myself I would chill and see if the market gave me an opportunity to take a trade in the afternoon, which it did, and I'm currently in. Right, basically, we can see that we moved all the way down into the 4-hour bullish gap, and in the afternoon we respect it and move out of it on the 15-minute. Okay, so on the 15-minute, we can see we respect this bullish gap by doing what? Moving out of it. Okay, we move in, we hold a little bit, and we move out. Right. On the 5-minute, we had the SMT. I'm just recapping. Okay, we have an SMT. On the low is giving me better information about market's current idea for movement. Also, given that the morning generated that move, I had an idea that price would want to come back and retrace, filling in these hourly bearish, hourly gaps. Okay. Price generated a large displacement leg, followed by a clean swing high. Right, being then ran through. That was my market short shift, which is this 5-minute high here. The green box highlights the 15-minute value gap, like I said. Now, there are some value ups on the lower time frames, such as this one, 2-minute has one as well, this one, and the 1-minute as well has one, I'm pretty sure. Yep, right here. I don't want to take these because they just weren't that nice. They just didn't look appealing to me, and you want to enter a trade that you're comfortable in, right? But yeah, like I said, price continues to move down, and obviously hits my break even. Okay, so I took a contract off, and then I just get stopped out at break even. Now, the lessons I learned from today's trading are: first trade, market was pouring down aggressively. I remember looking at this move down, and I was like, "Fuck's sake, how did I not get in?" Right? What's that being involved? Emotions. Okay. I had a serious emotional toll today on that entry, right? It made me quite upset, okay? And I happened to not follow my strategy, which ultimately cost me, obviously, a losing trade, okay? The lesson learned is I should be content with just staring at the chart. I should be fine with not having my model set up here and just stare at the market and watch it, okay? And obviously, not taking a rational trade that does not line up with my plan. Right? I should be able to sit there and be still, no movements, no urges, unless price action clearly offers what I have seen as my as my entry model. Okay, price didn't offer it, no problem, no problemo. Okay. Now the lesson I learned from the second trade is that looking at the bigger picture, let's just look at the 5-minute and the 15-minute. We just consolidate. This happened throughout the entire week, by the way. We'd have like a drastic movement, like up or down, and then we just consolidate. Okay, large move, consolidate. Like here as well, large pump up, consolidate. Okay, this is what was happening the entire time, right? Price tells you a whole story, right? We're just consolidating. We're simply consolidating, right? The trade was not successful because price broke out of a trading range, right? But because I got in at a discount, right? What I think I mean to say, the trade was successful not because it broke out of the trading range, right? Which it didn't. It's because I literally just got into like the discounted area of the consolidation, right? So we managed to pump up a little bit, right? So pretty much, obviously, the P&L was just resting above my entry, right? I had good risk management this time, okay, which is solid. I'm seeing a improvement in that. Obviously, taking partials at these highs here, which is important, because last time I would have been stopped out and I wouldn't have even taken a contract off. Okay, I had logical targets, however, they were unrealistic given the time of day, right? It was really unlikely that price would come into those key areas, right here, within what, 2 hours before market close, right? Very, very unrealistic. Okay, I should actually turn off replay now, I believe. So yeah, now the main stuff to take away is I need to remain patient, right? I constantly have to repeat this to myself, and I shouldn't really be doing this. A successful trader, quoted by Justin Werlein, can sit and look at a chart and do nothing because it is not offering him anything involving his model, right? I could have had an entry on a minimal 15-minute gap, which I mentioned obviously at the beginning of the video, right here. I could have, should have, would have, right? But like, what's the point in dwelling on the past, right? I should have. There's no point in dwelling on the past, right? Use it as a lesson, simple as that, right? I missed an opportunity, so what? Another one will always appear, right? This also perfectly links to my first trade, right? I missed the move down. Rushing and FOMOing into a trade will not reward you, right? So the main things to grasp from today's trading is to just chill, right? To literally just chill. Don't force something, right? Because you're seeing this massive tank down and you think you need to get into the charts. You really don't. You really don't. If market's not offering you something, it's doing that for a reason, right? It's clearly doing that for a reason. Market wasn't offering me something, I forced an entry in and I got stopped out, right? If I probably won the trade, I probably wouldn't be saying this. I'd be saying, but I feel like this would have been straight luck anyway, because why? It was against my strategy. It wasn't a rational decision, right? Justin said again, when it comes to trading, right, you're not paid for your time, you're paid for your decision making. Okay? You can sit in the chart for 5 hours, you're not getting paid for that. You're gonna get paid for your decision making. Okay? What makes you money or whatever you give a fuck about is paid for your you get paid for your decision making, right? Entering a trade. Like entering a trade, not entering a trade, you know? Like these are prime examples, right? Decision making cost me a losing trade. Decision making cost me a losing trade, right? I was in a consolidation, FOMO. FOMO consolidation, right? Not optimal entries. Alright, that's enough blabbing. I hope you guys found this video useful, and I'll see you tomorrow. You guys will get another trade recap, so I'll see you guys then. Alright, bye bye.